Hello, my name is Andrew Nicolosi, and I'm here to do my first screencast on the ideas of Isaac Newton and what he come up with during the scientific revolution. And I'm going to go ahead and the main three ideas we're going to cover is the laws of motion, his discovery of gravity, and a couple of inventions and things he invented. A little bit about Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton was born on January 4th, 1943. He died on March 31st, 1727. And he was an Englishman. He was born and raised in England. And what he did for an occupation, or what he was he was an English physicist. He was a mathematician, an astronomer, a natural philosopher, a theologian, and even an alchemist to an extent. And a couple things he achieved over his career. He was the co-inventor of calculus, or I believe the inventor of calculus. He discovered and come up with the law of universal gravity, which is basically talking about how gravity works. He come up with the three laws of motion, which I'll cover later. A big invention he did was he come out with the first reflecting telescope, and was one of the most modern telescopes in his era. And his most significant science work is the Principia, which is something he published. And mainly what he loved to do, he wrote a lot on theology, and basically was more of a philosopher, in my opinion. He was always thinking of the next idea more than trying to discover something new, trying to do or observe something as a scientist would. The first thing Newton come up with was the laws of motion. That's probably one of the most popular things he's come up with, for sure, and is taught in every science book out there. But the first law of motion, funny enough, was not created by Newton, but was created by Galileo through his law of inertia, which basically explains that an object in motion will stay in motion until an external force stops it. Which that's pretty easy to grasp and understand. Now the second law is a little bit more difficult, I guess, to understand if you're not a math guy. But its force is equal to the mass times acceleration. So that's how that is explained, and that's shown through the equation F equals m times a. Now Newton's third and last law of motion is probably the most popular one. Most people should have heard of it at least once or twice. It states for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction, and I mean this doesn't have to just necessarily be in science. I mean that can apply in life. But another huge discovery of Newton, he discovered gravity. Well, I guess you really can't discover gravity, but he was the first one to understand how gravity works and understand that gravity is there, always doing something. And when he discovered gravity, or started understanding how it works, he also started branching more off into physics and becoming a physicist more than a philosopher. And then one big thing that he invented was calculus. And I think that's a huge credit to him, because calculus is very difficult and hard to understand, and he's basically the creator and inventor of it. But in conclusion, overall, I believe Sir Isaac Newton's probably the most influential scientist of the scientific revolution time period. I believe he contributed more than most of the other guys, although the other guys did help him contribute as well by some of their ideas. Felt like he contributed the most. But as a discussion question, I'd like to know, how does Sir Isaac Newton compare to other guys like Copernicus and Galileo? Thanks. That is my Screenocast presentation.